What's up, guys? It's Bromley from Empire Barbell. Excuse me while I catch my breath. Try not to die right now because this topic is about something I almost killed myself doing right now, and that is Strongman Death Medleys. Athlete ready, take your grip. On your mark, get set, go. Get it to the line, come on. I need new shoes, man. Now, for those of you that are new or haven't been in a lot of contests, you may not have stumbled across this gem, but Death Medleys are a time-honored tradition in strongman. Usually used as a form of hazing with people who are new to the crew. But when I started the crew we're in, if you were new and you showed up, day one, the first thing you were doing was a death medley. Now, a death medley is named very aptly. It's a medley, so strongman medleys are where you pair different things together. Overhead medleys, deadlift medleys, you're using different implements, you're going through them like a ladder. So death medleys involve usually some type of carrying or flipping or loading. So a real classic one is like a farmer walk to a tire flip to a sled drag. It's fucking horrible. And if you've never done strongman before, it doesn't matter if you think you're strong. It actually really doesn't matter if you're in good shape. These are really heavy overload movements. They're power movements where you're under a shit ton of tension for a long time and you have to move explosively and deliberately, and you're gonna have no idea what the fuck you're doing. So if you have no experience, it eats you up and you end up pancaking on the asphalt in the 115 degree sun. So basically the way it went is that you earned your stripes by doing the death medley, and if you came back the next week, you belonged there. It was almost as a way of pushing people off who weren't really dedicated, who were gonna eat up time and attention. So anyways, they pop up in contests quite a bit. Now, the thing to understand is that they're all different, but they all kind of use the same elements. So as you get better at everything overall, you'll get better at medleys. But I mean, it's not just about keeping you mobile, keeping you fast, keeping you athletic. Those are definitely really positive aspects of strongman that I really like, and it's the reason I was drawn to it. I feel like it's more useful. It tells a better story about who you are as a physical being. What you'll notice in the beginning is as you practice these movements, part of getting through these things better without dying, like I'm dying right now, really has to do with efficiency, getting through it without burning a bunch of energy. And there's a couple components to that. One is knowing the movements. If you've never done a Husfeld stone pick from the ground, you've never walked with a keg or picked a sandbag, it's gonna absolutely eat you alive. So the better you get at those, more comfortable you get at those, the longer you can go, the faster you can go, and you can really start to pick up on your old time. But the other aspect that people don't talk about is strength. It's one of the reasons why strength is really important to strongman. I mean, that might be intuitive to many of you, but there's a big lean in pop culture right now that tries to treat strongman like a field sport where you're doing a lot of athletic training and you're trying to get balanced and coordinated and explosive, and you're doing a lot of unilateral work and speed work. Don't get me wrong, those are all important. But coming from somebody who has very short legs, is not very athletic, and really just got good at strongman by chipping away at it for so many years, I can tell you the biggest swing I had in my performance on medleys and moving events was when I got stronger. I mean, practicing the events, yes, putting in the time to know how to move things, play the handle. But every time I got stronger, I noticed I moved with the implement more easily. I wasted less energy. It wasn't such a struggle. So the real key to this sport is getting strong in the context of still being in good shape, being technical, being mobile, being agile. Strength, in my opinion, is priority in this sport. It gives you a big margin. Now, don't take that to mean that you just need to set an elite powerlifting total and you're good to go. I've seen plenty of strong guys fall on their face. But the point is, when you're overly specific in one area and you come in with absolutely no skill in the others, that's disastrous. You still have to be well-rounded. Assuming you're doing your due diligence to the other qualities in the sport, getting strong is going to take you the farthest soonest. That's just a fact. So the one we're getting ready for is for the official Strongman Games in Florida. That was annoying. So for official Strongman Games, it's 50-foot legs. You're gonna carry a 300-pound sandbag, come back, carry a 300-pound keg, come back, carry a 300-pound Husafell stone you pick from the ground. Those are all loaded into a sled, and then that sled is drug another 50 feet. So you're talking about 350 feet of running. I mean, most lifters will be gassed out just from that. And if you're good, it means you're sprinting with each implement. I mean, you can't sprint and then walk back. There's only 90 seconds. Now the 90-second thing, I mean, that almost makes it worse because most people have 45 seconds to a minute and then they're done. So it's gonna go for most people, if long enough, it's gonna go past a minute, which means you gotta be in shape. I mean, you do. I get to about 45 seconds, I feel good. Right at 50 seconds, the floor drops out, I feel like shit. So it's a good wake-up call that, you know, you have to keep yourself in reasonably good shape. You have to stay efficient. It's a good tune-up for all these movements to get quicker, more efficient, get your transition down. So I do enjoy it. The video I had is Eric running through the under 200 weights. So I believe his weights are all around 250. It was like a 250 Husafell, 250 keg, 240 bag. And then he did about a 450 sled drag back. It's pretty close to contest weight for him. Mine, I put all at 3. The first time I fell on my face. I got through the first 2. I tried sprinting. I couldn't get the Husafell in position. So the second time around, I went through, I took my time, basically. I carried each one, walked back. So realistically, the whole thing took me 2 minutes. I'm happy I finished. It shows me, at least that if I pace myself, I can finish. But I got about 4 weeks to turn that walk back into a run back. So that's the shitty part about conditioning. You get really good at it really quick if you apply yourself, which means I got about 3 weeks of hell ahead of me. I'm gonna run through that 2 to 3 times a week. I really gotta get my conditioning up, but that's something you can improve in very quick. Long story short, that's the Strongman Death Medley. You can set it up. I mean, really creativity is the big thing. I mean, farmer walks are horrible, tire flips are horrible. Sled dragging at the end is like universal for those events, just because no matter how gassed you are, you can lean backwards and push your feet. And then, you know, your quads just blow up and your heart rate goes to the roof. I don't know how more people don't stroke out in this fucking sport. But actually, as part of my training here, my plan is to put up some more ideas for conditioning that's a little more strongman specific. Those people who keep an endurance base, and there's a lot of them, are resident pro strong woman Emily Elliott. She's very active. She hikes, she cycles. She had a CrossFit background coming into here, and she has a motor on her like most girls just do not. I mean, she was on a carry event, she was on a Conan's wheel, and she dusted Gabrielle Berkelser, who I think just got her pro card at nationals as a middleweight. You know, and this girl, she looks like she has a 500-pound deadlift. Emily has a fantastic motor on her, and a lot of it's just being active. So cardio is good as long as you're not running 10 miles where you're burning through calories you need for recovery. 30 minutes to an hour of activity never costs anybody a single gain, not a one. So for you guys to say, oh, 5 reps or more is cardio, honestly, I use 15 rep, 20 rep squats to keep my cardio base, because it's enough time under weight that I find it translates over very well. So between compound movements for high reps, very light, steady state. I mean, yeah, if you want to be a soldier, go do some high intensity. Intervals are fantastic. Anything that keeps your heart rate up for an extended period of time, you are going to find makes you better at strongman. So while you're at it, it might as well be sport specific, right? So in the future, I plan on putting out some workouts that, bag, Husafell, keg, whatever, anything you have you can pick up and carry. You can find a nasty way to get some conditioning, and you can make yourself a better strongman. Not just better strongman, a better human being by like being useful for more than 20 seconds at a time. Come on, guys, this is what separates us from lazy ass powerlifters, all right? I'm just kidding, powerlifters, I love you, but you all need to do cardio too. So that's the Strongman Death Medley, guys. I'm gonna be putting out some more content on that in the future, so stay tuned. Any questions or specific info you need, keep it in the message box, or actually DM me on Instagram, Empire Barbell. That's it, guys. I'll see you next time.